Awesome. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to jump right on into this, you guys. I am so excited for this week's Coaching to Confidence for a lot of reasons, mostly because this week is all about something that I have a soapbox for, and I'm so excited to stand on it when I talk to you guys about this. So I'm going to also pull up the, oh, perfect, Michael's on it, good. I've got the chat up on my phone too, Curtis, so I can kind of help keep an eye on it. But I really want to talk with you guys. Curtis and I were kind of, and Michael and I were talking about this yesterday, actually, about reviews and how important reviews or testimonials, as we also call it in the industry, are important, how important they are to you and your businesses. I liken this to what we thought Zillow was when Zillow first came on years and years and years ago, okay? And this is why it's so important to focus on online reviews. Years ago, many moons ago, before many of you were in the business, when Zillow first came on, I'm sure Curtis remembers this, I'm sure Mike Cairo remembers this, all of us that were in the business were like, Zillow schmillow. No seller is going to care what a website says that their property is worth. No buyer is going to go to that website to schedule a showing before they talk to me first. And now look at what Zillow is. So I challenge you guys all to have that in the back of your mind when I talk to you about how important reviews are going to be for your businesses moving forward. They are already a very important part of the business, but I truly believe that there's something that a lot of realtors have not really leveraged, certainly not in an online way, enough. Okay, and we are in 100% online culture even before COVID, and now everything's so much more virtual. And so when we look 5 years, 10 years down the line, where do you see the real estate industry being? And if you guys don't start getting 5-star reviews now, if you don't start getting client testimonials now on online resources, it's going to be too late to build up that brand presence online. So that's why I really want to focus on that. So think about that Zillow story in the back of your head as we kind of go through those slides, and remember why it's so important to get this going right now in your business, to make years from now, you're not that agent going, oh crap, everybody is looking at reviews online and they're looking for 5-star agents and I have no stars because I haven't had anybody review me. Okay, so I'm going to go jump in. So I did a lot of research for this one because I really wanted you guys to understand consumerism and the power behind why reviews are so important. Okay, so I kind of wanted to break it down. And with the way that online marketing has been going, there's this buzz marketing term now called electronic word of mouth. We've all heard of word of mouth, right? Which is essentially what we ask all of our sphere when we're making our care calls, when we're prospecting our sphere, right? Those are our calls when we're saying, hey, we're having that great conversation. We end it with asking for that referral. We're asking for that client, that past client, that friend to say to somebody else, you should give Curtis a call. I heard you're looking to buy. He's a great realtor. That's word of mouth. Now you guys also need to focus about getting that electronic word of mouth to work for you. 88% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. Think about that. That's like so crazy. And I challenge you guys all to think, do you fall into that 88%? How many of you guys check Google reviews or Yelp reviews before you go to a restaurant? Right? Or you check Rotten Tomatoes before you look at a movie. Okay, these are all huge things. Like I look at stars before on Google before I look at anything else. Like I'm going out of town Friday to Friday and I had to book a hotel. The first thing I did was I put in my search bar nothing less than 4 stars. Nope, not doing it. Like, so this is so important. And 92% of consumers read online reviews before making a purchase. And I know you guys are all thinking like, well, Rachel, this is talking about purchases. This is talking about items. This is talking about goods. I know. Think about that Zillow story that I told you guys. This is the way that consumerism is going. This is the trend that we've already seen. There is absolutely no reason why this trend won't swing for us in real estate, okay? We're already seeing that pick up. We're already seeing realtors getting Yelp accounts. We're already seeing realtors getting Google accounts, right? And getting stars on that. It is already happening. Zillow has star ratings for realtors. You can be a 5-star agent on Zillow. So it's already happening that those are metrics that realtors can be rated on. So there's absolutely no reason that we're not going to fall into these categories. No, they're not purchasing us, but we are selling our time. We're selling our resources. We're selling our ability to be solution oriented. So this is really important to remember, okay? The other really important thing that I learned when I was going through this research is Google ranks review sites higher on their search pages. And I don't know about you guys, but I literally never click into the second page of Google, right? By a show of people in the chat, how many people actually look into that second page of Google? Because I never do. If I don't see what I'm looking for in that first page of Google, I type something new into the search of Google. So when I was researching this and I read it, I tested it out and I started Googling some things. And if I didn't find what I was looking for, I didn't search into the second page. But I also tested what I was seeing, like this theory, and it's true. If you're searching for best restaurants in Lincoln Park, what's going to happen is Google is actually going to put, obviously, Google first, right? It's going to pull that Google map first, but it's going to rank those restaurants by their stars. And then it's going to put Yelp pages and it's going to put their Facebook pages up higher, but it's going to put the Facebook pages based on what their rankings are. It's really, really fascinating. And so as you start getting more reviews and start asking for testimonials and start getting those stars, start getting those metrics in place, you stand a good chance of pulling higher on Google pages. When someone says, I'm looking for a West Loop real estate agent, I'm looking for a Lincoln Park real estate agent. Knowing these statistics, knowing how Google algorithms work and how Facebook algorithms work is so, so important. I'm not saying you're going to crack that code today, but these are the steps you guys can start taking. So really think that in the back of your mind. 100%, we've heard this one before, right? 100% of buyers look online first. And the same really could be said of buyers as well. And so as you start to build your online presence, if you already have one, you're continuing to build on it. If you're a new agent, you're building it. You want your website, your Facebook page, your Instagram page, your Yelp page. I'm actually going to go into all of the different sites that you can use for rankings and reviews. You want all of those to be robust, to be constantly updated so that you do pull higher in online searches. So you can be on that first page of Google so that 92% of those consumers who are reading your online reviews decide to work with you first. And just remember that 100% of people are looking online. Most of them are also looking on their phone first and not necessarily a computer or a tablet, even not a tablet, right? Like I have an iPad and I hardly ever pull it out. So it's usually their phone. So make sure that especially if you're generating your own site, that it works for your mobile friendly. What's nice about InTouch is it's very, very mobile friendly. So is CB, obviously we know Facebook and Instagram is, but just make sure that if you're building out your own site that you do pick one that works on the mobile. We obviously live in a hyper digital culture, so anything you can do to get on that train, get on it now. I cannot stress that enough, you guys. What I don't want to have is in 3 years, you guys come to me and be like, Rachel, I have only 1 star, I only have 1 review, and clearly I need 17 more. And I'm just going to send you the recording of this YouTube clip, this exact class, and be like, I told you so. I'm just kidding. I would never say I told you so, but I would 100% think it, okay? Your online brand presence extends beyond pictures and your blog and just sold properties. So last week we heard from some phenomenal agents who talked about how they leverage the Coldwell Banker brand with their own value proposition. So when you think about what you're posting, when you're asking for reviews and testimonials, don't just push for the so-and-so helped me sell my property and Curtis was so good at pricing it. Think about the key words that you want somebody to say about you. Think about what your brand is presented and how you're presenting it and portray that everywhere. So one of the great things Shelly was talking about on our panel is she picked 3 things that really spoke to her and her brand. And that's what she posted. And when you look at her social media, it all works really, really well together. That's like very much her brand, and it doesn't look very cluttered. And when you meet her in person and when her clients work with her, they see that they're getting the same person that she presented online. So that's the other part of this. If you're at reviews and you're asking for testimonials and you're trying to be that 5-star agent, you have to make sure that every single place where your brand is online and in person is, if you laid it all in front of like each other, that it all makes sense. And when they meet you, it's all the same person. So really think about that, because you want everything to look cohesive and make sense all together. And then the other thing I wanted to go into, and my next slide is going to break it down even more for you guys, but the top 3 reasons customers write reviews is rewarding a company for good performance. And I hope that each and every one of you always are doing an excellent job for your clients. And I know that each and every one of you go out there every day hoping to do just that, and you work for just that. So keep that in mind. The better you do, and the more you keep that at the center of your job and like of your mindset with your clients, the more likely you are to get that good review. They want to share an experience with somebody else. They had such a good performance, they had such a good experience that they want to share it so that someone else can experience that as well. And they want to help others make a good decision. So you kind of notice that the 3 reasons customers write reviews kind of revolve around being in a giving and sharing nature. So if we already know that about human psychology, right? So this is telling us that human psychology is saying, I want to share things when something good happens, and when I want to help others have that same experience. Make sure that that's your mindset when you're going out there and being consumer facing, because you want to make that person feel those 3 things so that they feel no other option but to write that review for you. So this is a little bit of, and I'm sorry, one of the words got cut off here, but this is a little bit of a pie chart for you guys to kind of look at, right? So kind of breaks down for you the when and why do you typically leave reviews for a local business. So 33% of consumers write the review when an experience was either really good or bad. So make sure you're the really good experience. But I'm going to talk about what to do with bad reviews too, because here's the thing, you guys are all human. We are not perfect, so you are bound to make mistakes. I think that all of you guys just have to ooh-ah for a second and remember, I'm gonna make a mistake. Not every single person is gonna like me. I'm probably gonna piss off a client at some point or another, and it might be my fault, or frankly, it might be their fault, because they're not perfect either. And something might happen that they blame me for. Spoiler alert, and I'm sure Curtis and Michael could chime in on this, 99% of the time, people blame realtors when it has nothing to do with us in a deal. But they're always looking for somebody to blame. So it often falls on us because we end up being the therapist. We end up being kind of everything else in the deal. So just remember that, but there is a good way to combat bad reviews that I'll talk about in there. 25% post a review only when the experience was really good. So you're already hedging your bets in your favor if you can get that really good experience, right? Inform businesses to help the business community, to help other consumers, or when the experience was only really bad, are a lot less. So kind of keep this in the background. It's actually really surprising. And I was surprised by these because I don't know about you guys, but those Amazon reviews can really freak me out. Like when I go buy a product, especially if it's like a nameless company or you know, something that you don't really know, I'll often read the reviews, and for some reason I feel like there's always really bad reviews towards the top. I'm not sure why that might be. So I was kind of surprised to see the low numbers on how this is, but it made me feel a lot better, especially as a realtor and making this presentation for you guys. So you should feel a lot better too. The odds are in your favor, my friends, that you are going to get left a very positive review so long as you keep that mindset like we talked about before, right? Have that really good performance. Make your clients have an experience that's unforgettable that they want to share with other people. Make them feel like they want to help others make the decision to use you so that they can walk away with that same great experience. That's the secret sauce, right? They always like joke that there's no magic pill to success in real estate. This is the magic pill for success with reviews. There it is. That's it. We're done with the presentation. I'm just kidding. We're not done with the presentation. But all I can see is Curtis like laughing at my really bad jokes. So I very much appreciate you for that, Curtis. I can't see anyone else. So I definitely think I'm a lot funnier than I am. All right, so now I'm going to go into the how to request and get the good reviews. But I really wanted you guys to kind of have those stats in the back of your mind. I'm going to share this video with you guys on Friday like I always do, and I encourage you guys to kind of go back to this because I think that it's really important to remind yourself of this. There's 2 steps to this. You're going to request versus getting the reviews, okay? So let's start with the request. So I used to be taught and have that mindset of you request the review at the end of your transaction. So the way that I was raised in real estate, so to speak, was at the closing table or even a week after closing, you send an email asking for the review because, you know, that's when they're happiest. And, you know, maybe you wait a week after because they're moving a lot right after. You want to give them time to settle in. But what I found was I was often having to send 2 or 3 emails to get that review back because they're busy. They've gone on with their life. I'm no longer in their life day to day the way I was for 60 freaking days between going under contract and closing, not to mention the 45 days before we went under contract when I was with them every other day with showings. So I read a really interesting article on Inman, which I encourage you guys all to make sure that you get access to Inman. You get it for free through your Illinois Realtors dues, which I hope you guys all paid. You pay it through CAR. But the article through Inman suggested that you actually start weaving your request for reviews into your conversation early into your relationship. So what they were talking about was look for opportunities as you are progressing in your real estate relationship with your clients to suggest and preemptively prepare your client for the fact that they will write you a review, so that by the time the request is sent to them, it's not a, hey, could you do this? It's a, hey, remember when you agreed to do this? Great. Like it's an expectation they're going to do it, not a, hey, would you mind doing this? A really good example they gave was, let's say you're on the showing and they compliment you and they say, you know what, Curtis, like you're just so good. Like if you weren't here with me on this showing, I would have thought that this place was absolutely the best. But some of the things you pointed out, like the electric panel being knob and tube and the furnace being 75 years old, like really like saved me such a headache. And I'm so glad that we can move onward and upward. And then Curtis's reply is, oh my gosh, of course, like not a problem. I cannot wait to read that in the great review you're going to write me when we close on the right property. Like weaving that in from the start, you're going to put in their mindset, like the minute they give you positive reinforcement, you did a great job. Thank you so much for coming out last minute today, Michael. I know I called you 10 minutes ago. It means the world to me that you were able to get this showing like this evening. I'm so sorry that I interrupted dinner plans. No problem, Susie. You know that I am full service for all of my clients. I'm here for whatever you need. And hey, I know that you'll pay me back when you write me that great review later. Like constantly reinforce to them that when they're thanking you, the best possible way to thank you is to put that in the review to you. And you're basically telling them what you want them to write. Like Curtis is not saying, yes, please write me a review where you're saying, Curtis was so great. Please use Curtis to buy. No, Curtis is saying, I want you to specifically write how I made sure that I was advising you on the correct property to buy, that I saved you money so that you didn't waste money on inspection after inspection after inspection. Michael is specifically making sure that that client knows Michael was there for me, that he worked full time for me, that he was able to accommodate my requests when I needed them accommodated. Because nothing is worse than a 2-line review that says, Curtis was really great. I'd recommend him for anyone who's looking to buy, sell, or invest. Well, great. Curtis's aunt could have written that. I don't know. but the more specific your client can get, the better it is. The only way they're going to remember to be that specific is if during the entirety of your relationship, every time they've given you a compliment, anytime they've positively reinforced your business expertise, you've thrown it right back at them that you cannot wait to read that in the review they're going to write for you later. Or, you know what? That would sound so good in a review. Can't wait to read it. Something like that. And the other thing too is they don't have to wait to write that review until the end of the closing, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. But that was one of the cool things. I would have never thought about that because again, I was trained always wait till the end, like have that great customer service, but you cannot expect that at the closing table when your client is spending $500,000 and they're happy, okay? But you cannot expect them to remember anything about the process, anything about how great you were. At that moment, they're writing a big fat check. They're getting really great keys. They've got boxes on a moving truck. They're texting Uncle John to let that mover in. I mean, they've got a million things on their mind. They loved you. They think you did a great job, but now they're on to that next thing. So you need to make sure that through that whole relationship, you've woven those requests in. Invite your clients to follow your social media channels early on in the relationship. So this is one thing that's really, really key. If you have social media channels that you post testimonials onto, which, spoiler alert, you all should have. So not if, you all have social media channels that you should be posting testimonials on. And so invite your clients to like those and follow those early on in your relationship. What's great is you guys can incorporate those into your Moxie presentations. You can have those in your signature lines on your emails. You can add that into your business cards. You can do follow for follow. I mean, there's endless ways of doing it, but you can also tell them, hey, I always invite all my clients to follow my Facebook and Instagram business pages because I put pertinent information on the market and what's been happening. So I would love if you could follow me there so you can stay up to date. That's all it takes, and then they're following you. So when you share other people's testimonials of your business there, it kind of gets them ingrained in the mindset that they're going to have to write one of those too. So that goes into my next thing. Share the past reviews and testimonials on your social channels and in your monthly newsletter because you've already invited your current clients to follow you. So again, the more that they see that you're posting other people's review and testimonials, the more it's going to be ingrained in them that they're going to do that as well. Use video to request these as well. I think that is super great. Like BombBomb is a really good one. Sending a video text message is great as well. Instead of just an email format, being able to say, hey guys, I'm going to shoot you an email in a few minutes with a review request with hyperlinks to all of my different websites to write reviews. I'd love it if you could just take a quick second to and copy and paste that one to all of those different spots. I hope you're enjoying your new house. I'll talk to you later. Something super quick and easy because it's way harder to say no to my beautiful face and voice than it is to an email that has no personality, no matter how many exclamation points I use. Be consistent. So what you do for one, you do for all. So if you're asking Susie to write you a testimonial, make sure you ask the next person. Here's what you don't want to fall into. And I fell into this early on in my career, and you don't want to do this. If you have a not great transaction, still ask that person for a review. Because here's the thing. If you had a not great transaction, they might write you a bad review anyway. You want to be in front of that. Always be fair to your clients and write a review. The review, you guys, is not intended to be all about accolades and great for you. The point of a review is to make sure that you did the best job you could, and if you didn't, where could you improve? Right? So I look at bad reviews as an opportunity to be either they're like a downright lie, right? And I know I did a great job, which gives me an opportunity to respond in kind to that review, or it's an opportunity for me to grow from that review. And perhaps I didn't do something as well. Maybe I didn't communicate with that person as well as I thought I could have communicated with, and that's a learning opportunity for me. So don't be afraid from the deals that feel really sticky and feel like maybe I shouldn't have done that, or maybe this wasn't a really great deal. I'm not going to ask him for a review. Always ask for that review anyway. And then I actually have a sample in here, so I'll show you, but lead with what you want the review to say. Do not just say, hey guys, here's some links, please leave me a review. Like we already said in the example, nothing is worse than Curtis was such a great realtor. I'd really recommend him for anyone looking to buy, sell, or invest. That tells me absolutely nothing about Curtis. What made him such a great realtor? I don't know. Like 7 other people have that in their bio too. Like, well, why would I want to use him? So if you know that you want them to focus on your education, you want them to focus on how you partnered with them through the deal, you want them to focus on how you saved them money, you want them to focus on how it was a tight market and you really found them in the perfect place, use those keywords in your email to them, because they're going to psychologically pick up on that. And hopefully, I mean, I'm not a mind reader, you guys, you can't force anybody to do anything, but you can lead them to water and hopefully they'll drink from it. But these are kind of the ways to do it, okay? And then once you get the review, right? So this is how to kind of get it and then what to do after you get it. So have a templated email with the hyperlinks to your review sites ready to send at a moment's notice. Keep it in your drafts, copy it into a new email every time you send it out. Do not just tell your client, go to my Facebook, go to my Yelp. Don't do that. They're not going to do that. You have to have the links to your Facebook, to your Yelp, to your website, whatever you're sending it to. Make it easy for them. Do suggest to them that they write one review and then they copy and paste it everywhere else, because it isn't very easy to just like syndicate it to all of these different places. They really are going to have to go into each one. So give them permission to not write 7 brand new reviews, but rather just post the same review in multiple places. Add a please review me link in your email signature. But with that, you're not going to want 7 please review me links, one to Facebook, one to Yelp, one to Zillow, one to wherever. So pick which link, pick which place you want to have that review the most. I'd recommend Yelp or Facebook to be those places, just based on how Google ranks things. So that way you can have the highest placement on a Google page, send them to either your Facebook or your Yelp business pages to get that please review me link in your email signature. And then give one to get one. So LinkedIn will let you give professional reviews. So if your client owns a business that would benefit from a review, that's a great way to engage. So if your client owns a small business, give them a review there. LinkedIn lets you give professional reviews that aren't necessarily, that are more like personal related. So I've had people do that before, like Rachel has a great work ethic. She's a wonderful leader, or like whatever that might be. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. Curtis helped me buy a property. You can write a review that talks about someone's character and not just about the way that a deal was written. So for all of you newer agents who are like, well, I don't have past clients to ask reviews for, you got family, you got friends, you have 3 managing brokers and leaders on this Zoom call, on this Teams call, that would write character reviews for you. So it's not always about finding someone to write a review based on a past deal. It can sometimes be about like, if you're looking to buy, sell, rent, or invest, I highly recommend working with Nick. His attention to detail and his quick response time makes him a wonderful real estate agent for anybody to work for. I would highly recommend him for anyone that's looking for someone to partner with on their real estate journey. I'm not lying. I'm not saying he helped me buy or sell or rent, but it kind of sounds like I am, but I'm conveying more about Nick's character and less about the deal that he helped me through. So for all of you newer agents out there who maybe don't have anybody that you physically helped through a deal, ask for those character references. So here are some other really good stats for something to think. Oh, one last thing, I didn't put this in here, but once you get a review, one nice thing that I like to do is I like to send a handwritten thank you note when I get a review, just to say thank you so much for your review. It means the world to me. Please let me know if you ever have any real estate needs or know of anyone looking to buy, sell, or invest in the city. Like I always just follow it up with a personal note because everyone loves a personal note, and it's the least I could do because we've already talked about how important those reviews are to you and your businesses. So here are some good stats, and this is something to think about. We kind of touched on it earlier, right? By asking a client for feedback, you are doing 2 things. You care about what they think, and You want to give them the best experience possible. So think about that for a second. You really are truly telling someone, I value what you think and what you thought of the process and what you thought of me and my business. And I want to give you the best experience possible. And I'm hoping to be able to give the next person the best business or the best experience possible as well. So positive reviews make 68% of consumers more likely to use a local business. Now, again, I know that these stats say things like businesses, they say things like products. Keep that example of Zillow on the back of your head, you guys. I cannot say it enough. This is my soapbox. But we are in an online culture. We are in a review culture. And I can't think of a reason why real estate is not very quick to follow on that, okay? 92% of consumers trust peer recommendation. That's already true for our sphere, right? When we get a referral from our sphere, that's pretty much in the bag. We're pretty much guaranteed to get that transaction. That buyer's probably going to work with us and that seller is probably going to list with us when it's a very nice hot referral from one of our past clients or someone in our sphere. The same can be said if that sphere member took the time to write a review and rank me as a 5-star agent and then referred me that person for sure is going to look at me online. And if they saw that their friend Susie also online and wrote a great review, they're going to use me even more, right? They're going to feel like, wow, Susie really does like this person. It's not just a passing, oh, you should use Curtis. 73% of consumers trust a local business more after reading positive reviews. 54% of consumers visit a local business's website after reading a positive review. This is so important, you guys. Your website has so much information on it. Your website can be lead generative. That's how you can capture people. I think it's so important to remember that your website has so much robust information on it. So if you have positive reviews, if you have strong reviews on Yelp, on your Facebook, on LinkedIn, they're more likely to visit your website, to see your newsletter, to set up a search for themselves on your website. All of those are positive things that are going to end up reaping you more rewards and more leads down the line. And then 7 out of 10 customers will leave a review when asked to do so. So again, real estate is a numbers game that's leveraged by relationships. So if you know that 7 out of 10 of your clients will write a review, then how many people do you need to ask to get 10 reviews? Like, you guys really need to think about this math to be able to build up to get to that 5-star review status, to be able to get up to those reviews that you need. So really think about who are the people I can ask today and every day to get those reviews going for myself to build a really good base for that. So I found 7 websites that I really invite you guys, challenge you guys to start working on right now to start requesting reviews. So LinkedIn, kind of an obvious one. I hope you guys all have a LinkedIn. While you are on all these sites, I encourage you guys to make sure that your names are correct, that your companies are correct, that your cell phone numbers are correct, that your emails are correct, that your headshots are correct. That information, very important to be correct. LinkedIn, Facebook, Zillow, which also owns Trulia, Realtor.com, RateMyAgent.com, your own website, and Yelp. So these are all really, really great websites for you guys to go through and make sure that you're asking for testimonials right now. With Facebook, obviously I should have put this, but I meant Facebook business page. So your Facebook business page is going to be key for that. So go in and check through that. Zillow actually does have their 5-star. You can be ranked as a 5-star agent, and they give you like a really cool, I don't know, Curtis, if you've seen it. They give you like a really cool branding thing where they like put your headshot in the center and they say that you're a 5-star agent. So it's like a big thing. I think Yelp does something very similar. Okay, so then I wanted to include a sample email for you guys so that you could kind of get an idea for the wording. And I kind of highlighted and tried to bold the different ways that I was working to make sure that I could lead Susan down the path that I wanted her to write the review. So I'll just read it for you guys. Again, I'm going to send out this video, so don't try to take it. You don't have to rush to get your phones out to take a picture or anything like this. But dear Susan, I cannot believe we're 2 weeks away from closing already. You guys, I'm sending this email to Susan before we've closed because she's excited. We're about to close. And once we close, her brain is not going to care about me for quite some time. I cannot believe we're 2 weeks away from closing already. I saw that Erin is working with the underwriter to make sure that everything is in order, and it sounds like the sellers are getting ready to move out next week. Your trust and support in me and my business means everything to me. I have so enjoyed working with you through your buying process and cannot wait to bring it all home with you on the 26th. As you know, I strive to offer all my clients a high level of service, creating a partnership built on trust and support that extends well beyond the closing table. I would be honored if you left me a review so that I can ensure excellent service going forward. I've included links to my review sites below to make it as quick and easy as possible for you to copy and paste your review on each site. I cannot thank you enough for taking some time to help me grow in my service to my clients. Then I would hyperlink LinkedIn, Facebook, Zillow, Yelp. Best, Rachel Scheid. So I was pretty succinct and to the point. You notice I really wanted her to focus on my high level of service, the partnership I build on trust and support that extends beyond the closing table. And then I focus on how she'd be doing me the favor. She'd be honoring me. But then I also make sure she knows it's going forward. It's not so I can scratch my back and feel really good about what I'm doing. It's so that I can ensure excellent service going forward. I'm not going to mention future clients in this email because this is about Susan. Okay, but I'm leaving that open-ended so she can kind of imagine what that is. But I want her to see that I'm forward thinking, that I'm planning on having business in the future, and I know her support is going to be a part of that. All right, I don't see any questions in the chat on this, so I'm going to keep moving on it. All right, so the next steps after you've requested that review is send that warm thank you note for the review. I think that that's so important. Acknowledge a bad review, both online and then with a phone call. So everything I was reading online, all the research I was doing was saying, don't ignore the bad review. Always reply to the bad review. That's so important because otherwise it's like a festering blister there that's just like everyone's going to read it. They're going to see that you didn't reply. And let's be honest, those of us on Facebook, personal Facebook pages, like we're all those people where you see like a very controversial Facebook status and you see all the comments below and you're just like, oh my God, I just can't wait for all these replies. I just like can't wait for this fight to begin. And I know you're all looking at me like, come on, Rachel, we're not like that, but like we're 100% like that. So acknowledge that bad review. The most important thing to remember is you are the professional. You are a licensed professional with a fiduciary duty that you have to uphold because of license law. So if you get a bad review, maybe don't respond to it in that first 5 seconds. Maybe call Michael Cairo, maybe call Curtis, maybe call myself first so you can blow off steam. Vent about it first. Do not vent online. Do not vent back at that consumer. Vent to us. That's what we're here for. We can also help you with some wording to write through what your response could be. The first thing should always be, John, thank you so much for your thoughtful review. After taking some time to read your comments, I wanted to reply to let you know, and then you respond. And, you know, sometimes we'll see things like, most of the bad reviews I've seen in real estate have to do with like lack of communication and things like that. So you can usually say, you know, I'm so sorry that you felt that there was a lack of communication. I pride myself on being readily available to all of my clients via email, text, and phone calls. I do remember there being several times where we were not able to connect for one reason or another. I hope going forward we can resolve these issues. You're not going to want to get into the nitty gritty or he said, she said. There's a good way to be very surface and very professional. But then I like to follow up with that phone call. Take it offline, make that personal reach out to that person. Are you going to end up being best friends that spend Thanksgiving together? Probably not. But you can at least be amicable because what you don't want is it brooding and it getting beyond that. So write that thoughtful response and then pick up that phone and say, you know, John, I just wanted to give you a call. I saw your review on Facebook. I want to let you know I did respond because I always appreciate reviews. And I just wanted to pick up the phone and talk to you a little bit about it, because I have to say I was a little disappointed to read that. And I didn't want our relationship to end with a bad review. So I wanted to talk it through and just get to that happy medium. You don't have to be best friends after it, but you never know who someone else knows. Okay. So you don't want to burn that bridge. You don't want to be the jerk. You always want to be the bigger person. You always want to be the professional. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Curtis, myself, Michael, that's what we're here to help you guys work through. We're all only human. Trust me, Curtis takes my phone calls when I'm like, I'm sorry, this B said what? Okay, so that's Michael does that too. Poor Michael, he takes a lot of my calls and he's like, okay, we need to calm down and work through this. So we're here for you guys to do that because it does happen. And then hashtag Testimonial Tuesday. So a few of you guys have already started doing this, but like I said earlier, you guys should be posting your testimonials. A great day to do it is Tuesday. Love that alliteration, but use hashtag Testimonial Tuesday. And on Tuesdays, post either full or snippets, it depends on how long the testimonial is, of reviews that your clients have written about you. This is a great way to share your great job with your sphere, with the people that follow you on social media. It's a great way to remind people you're in real estate. It's a great way to showcase that. Since you have already been followed by those clients, you can tag them in it as well, give them thanks. Make sure you always lead with gratitude, and make sure you write that in the comments. I know Maggie Bergeron, I think I saw her on this. She's been doing that lately, and it always goes over really well. You can make them look really beautiful on Canva, which is CANV. I'll put that in the chat. I love using canva.com as a great way to make just like really pretty posts. So I'll put that in there. And then also you can add reviews and testimonials to your Moxie presentation. So you can add these slides into there. So every time you do a seller presentation or a buyer presentation, listen, if you've got 47 reviews, please do not post all 47 reviews in your Moxie presentation, because you will bore that buyer or seller to death and they'll be like, okay, this person's very full of themselves. Cherry pick a few reviews that really are the essence of your brand and what you want any potential client to know about you. And that's what you're going to put into that presentation. And I think that's so important. And then this is my challenge to you guys. I got to move Curtis to the side. All right. This is your guys' challenge. It's a 30-day challenge, 2 parts. Request 1 review every day for the next 30 days. For all of you newbies out there who are panicking, remember, I already gave you guys a cheat. You don't have to necessarily ask a past client. You've got managing brokers you can ask. You've got staff members you can ask. You've got friends and family you can ask for character references. Post 1 review every week for the next 4 weeks. All right, I'm going to say that again. So your challenge is to request 1 review every day for the next 30 days. So when you come out of this challenge, your goal is to have 30 reviews. Yes, I'm including Saturday and Sunday. Here's the deal, folks. I'm not your mom. You guys are not my students. You can choose what you want to do. If you don't want to ask someone on a Saturday and Sunday, ask 2 people on Monday and 2 people on Friday. It's just that easy, okay? If you know that you're going out of town, ask 5 people on Tuesday for a review. But either way, push yourself. Challenge yourself to get those 5-star reviews. Get 30 of them in the next 30 days. And then Testimonial Tuesday is the best day of the week in my opinion, but I'm not going to hold you to it. I noticed I didn't say it had to be Tuesday, but post 1 review every week for the next 4 weeks on Facebook and Instagram or Instagram, depending on what you use. This is the idea to form a habit. So like, let's see if you can do it, right? So part of that challenge then would be, can you guys create a really good template of an email requesting that review with the URLs that you want to use for that review? Keep in mind, 7 out of 10 people say yes to writing that review. So if my goal is to get 30 reviews, how many do I actually need to request, right? So that's something to think about as well. And then make it look pretty or not, but post it on your social media at once a week, every week for the next 4 weeks. I would love it even more. This is like bonus, okay? I would love it even more if you tagged Michael Cairo. Actually, Michael, do you even have a Facebook? She said incredulously to the camera.
I do.
Okay, and I would love it if you would tag Michael, myself, and Curtis in it. It's not a prerequisite for this challenge, you guys, but I would love it if you could, because we love to share your guys' successes. We love to share your wins. And sometimes we can only do that if we know about those wins. So tag us in those as well, even if it's just in the comments, and we'll share those. We can share in those successes and those wins. We want to see you guys succeed in this. I'm not going to say there's a prize, but I'm not going to say there's not a prize. Anything could happen. It's 2020. All right. So I'm getting close to the hour. I have one slide left, but before I announce that, which is exciting news, I wanted to see if anybody had any questions. And I see Curtis. Curtis, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah. My question, I kind of wrote it off to the side, is what do you really consider a review? Maybe I stretch the envelope when, like a video, if I'm there on the front of their house closing day and they say, oh my gosh, you know, Rachel, she was so friendly, approachable, she was genuine. You know, I'm going to post that on my Facebook page, but is that a review? It's not a written review. If someone sends Rachel flowers and they just say, oh my gosh, thank you, you were so helpful, you were friendly, we had such a good time doing it. I have stretched the envelope, meaning like someone sent me flowers as my little brochure. I actually put what they wrote down here in my brochure that I give on listing presentations. So I think what you consider a review is really, if someone says something about you, I kind of consider it a review. What do you think?
I agree. And then I also want to put an asterisk, because what someone says to just you is really great and it feels really awesome. And I'm not denying that. Once somebody sent me a beautiful cookie basket and I was so excited. I gained 5 pounds. But again, with the kind of the overall idea of the presentation and the idea of where real estate is headed and where online brand presence is already going with real estate, is you really want to encourage those clients to get that review in at least one of those 7 places online, to rate you in at least one of those 7 places online. Because ultimately, that's how you're going to get other consumers, outside consumers, to really pay attention to you. And here's the deal. Again, it's 7 out of 10, right? Like I've had some clients that they're just never going to go online. They're never going to do that. And I'm not going to force them to do that. They can send me those flowers. They can send me those cookie baskets. I'm going to take a selfie with it. I'm going to thank them on social media with it. And that's as far as it's going to get. And I'm not going to push the issue. But that's why those 7 other people, I'm going to push that online review, right? We have to make sure, you guys just have to keep that in the back of your head. You can't twist people's arms, but it's about, you guys are all small business owners. You just don't have a brick and mortar. You're choosing to brick and mortar with Coldwell Banker, which is great. And we love having you here, but it is your small business. You know, it is your business. They are your transactions. And so if you aren't creating brand recognition for yourself, if you are not creating opportunity for people to find those reviews, if you're not creating opportunity for people to find your bios, 100% of people are looking online first. I'm not even making that up. That just is what it is. And all of the stats that we saw earlier are telling us that while the reviews are obviously more towards restaurants and small businesses and all these things right now, Zillow has already started a couple years ago, the 5-star agent reviews. Yelp has already started realtor reviews. RateMyAgent.com is already a few years old. So think about where that's going to be in 5 years and where are you going to be in 5 years on those websites. So those are just some things to keep going with it. Alinka said, one of my buyers told me that they didn't know how to put a review. So yes, so that was the example of my my email that I gave you. So you should send your client the hyperlinks of where you want them to put the reviews so they don't have to hunt for it themselves. And Jerry, yep, I will go back to that page. So these are the 7 sites that I recommend. I'm not saying that there's not other sites, you guys. These are just my top 7 that most of the articles I was reading, this is what they were doing it. So your CB website, LinkedIn, Facebook, Zillow/Trulia, Realtor.com, Rate My Agent, and Yelp. Denny, some sites do let you leave a review without providing a name. Some sites don't. So it kind of just depends. I don't know the rules for all of them. I think Facebook, you leave the review with your Facebook account. Yelp, I think you can leave anonymous reviews. LinkedIn, I do not think you can leave anonymous reviews. Zillow, I think you need to have an account, right, Curtis? Yeah. Because Zillow, you have to have an account, because actually Zillow, they vet, because Zillow takes it really seriously, because when Zillow first came on, they didn't have a lot of protections in place for reviews. So people, like agents, were like having their spouses and their kids write reviews as if they were clients. And so Zillow actually makes you, I think, claim the property that you were helped with, which is why if you're having someone write a character reference for you, I would do LinkedIn, I would do Facebook, and I would do the Coldwell Banker, your website, for those ones. Okay. All right, so again with your challenge, and then Curtis and I have a very exciting announcement for all of you guys. Starting this month and going forward, as some of you guys know, we've had a book club in the Lincoln Park office. We made it City Central last month, but it's kind of been after hours. Back in the day, pre-COVID, we were obviously able to meet in person, wine and cheese in the office, but can't do that. So Curtis, if you want to kind of explain what we're going to do now, I will be quiet and let you take it away.
Hey, so we are going to do book club. It is once a month. It is going to be, Rachel, it's going to be the last Thursday. Last Tuesday of the month. The first one coming up is going to be, this is one of my favorite business books. It's Simon Sinek, Start with Why. Why, you know, everybody, we know what we do, we know how we do it, but why do we do it? You know, I do it to inspire people to make positive, memorable changes in their life. I mean, everybody's got their own why. So we're going to read this book. I actually have 3 copies of this book that I would like to give away. The first 3 people that contact me that promise that they're going to show up for book club, I'll just give you the book. I like to listen to books more than I like to read books. I go for a walk and I listen to Audible. These are great books. It's like listening to a motivating podcast as you do whatever it is that you want to do. But I think that's it, Miss Rachel. I'm really looking forward to getting a good group. It's going to be a conversation. It's not going to be it's not going to be a speech. Everybody's going to throw in what they got from that particular book.
So one quick thing, so we're so excited about this. What Curtis and I decided to do, because we were originally moving these to being after business hours virtually, but we were sensing, like us, that you guys are a little zoomed out, a little teensed out, and things like that. So what we decided was the last Coaching to Confidence of the month, so the last Tuesday of the month for the Coaching to Confidence, so at 2 o'clock for the last Tuesday of every month will be our book club Tuesday. So let's see what's that last Tuesday of the month this month, guys, looking at October. So October 27th at 2 o'clock is when we will be talking about Start With Why. So we're really excited about that. And then at that book club on the 27th, we'll announce what November's will be. So we're really excited. If you guys don't know who Simon Sinek is, please YouTube him. He is one of Curtis and my favorite people. I reference his YouTube Golden Circle rule all the time, which he talks about in this book. It's just such an amazing concept about finding your why, understanding that needs to be the basis of your career. You guys are all entrepreneurs. You are your own bosses, and this is just so important to root your business in your why. So we're really excited for this. Like Curtis said, the first 3 people to email him will get free copies of this book. Otherwise, it's $9 on Amazon. I know because I already ordered mine today. So we're so excited for this. Reach out to us at any time. We are now at 3:59. So I want to respect your guys' time. Thank you so much for coming out today. You guys, I think I'm frozen. Oh, there we go. I'm not frozen on the screen anymore. It was lovely to see you all. Be safe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.